You know, I fund the education, Sri Hari funds it through me, put it this way, of a few children. And some of them are overseas. So what usually happens is something remarkable I've noticed over the last 4 years. They are very stressed because they need to know how they're going to pay their fee and things like that. And the moment I tell them your fee is taken care of, something happens, and a month later they are very sad and depressed. To the point where I'm kind of forced to think that that stress earlier on kept them busy. And now that stress is gone, somehow they have free time, available, which makes them slip into sadness. Because out of all the human emotions, 240 to be precise, as identified by various psychologists, sadness is the longest lasting emotion. I have everything in life. Really? Okay. I have everything in life, and yet I am sad all the time. Am I surprised or what? So I have everything in life, and yet I'm sad all the time. I don't feel like doing anything. Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to make light of your situation. I'm not laughing at you. I am just laughing at the question. Just joking. So here's the thing. I'm absolutely not surprised that you are sad all the time and you don't feel like doing anything. Because that's what happens when you have everything in life. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think it's rocket science. If you are so unfortunate that you have everything in life, you have nothing to live for. You have nothing to work for. You have nothing to die for. Life is going to be a drag. The most materially complete or fulfilled people are the most depressed people usually, unless they are working towards something meaningful in their lives. It is actually pretty much a given that if you have everything, which means if you don't need to work for a living, you are going to be a very sad fellow. Really. And I also feel sorry for those who have to hang out with you. Because they don't know how to fix you. And I'm not saying it to you, the person who's questioned. I'm just speaking in general. I fund the education, Sri Hari funds it through me, put it this way, of a few children. And some of them are overseas. So what usually happens is something remarkable I've noticed over the last 4 years. They are very stressed because they need to know how they're going to pay their fee and things like that. And the moment I tell them your fee is taken care of, something happens, and a month later they are very sad and depressed. To the point where I'm kind of forced to think that that stress earlier on kept them busy. And now that stress is gone, somehow they have free time, available, which makes them slip into sadness. Because out of all the human emotions, 240 to be precise, as identified by various psychologists, sadness is the longest lasting emotion. It can last 20 times as long as some of the other emotions. So if you are sad, it could be somebody said to you something last year. And it's still going on in your mind. I wouldn't be surprised. So if you have everything, my friend, I don't think that's a blessing. I think we will send you your account number and get rid of some of the things you have. So you have something to work for and work towards. Otherwise, life's just gonna be hell. You will be sad. You're not doing anything with your life. And when you say, I don't feel like doing anything, of course, in my answer, I'm assuming that clinically or medically, everything is right with you. That the only defect is that we took birth. Other than that, there is no problem. If that is the case, if like you're not clinically depressed or anything like that, then I think it's very clear. I don't feel like doing anything means nothing. Get off the seat and do something. Really do something with your life. Just do anything. Do something. In Japan, and it's a real story. It's actually really remarkable what happened there. As some of you might know, that the Japanese absolutely love their fish. And they love having fresh fish. They don't like frozen fish. They don't like stale, not canned. They prefer to have it fresh. But if you, as a culture, have been eating fish for so long, it's no surprise then that there's barely any left on the shores. Humans need to be fed 3 times a day. So many fishermen decided, look, we are not getting enough fish. So they came up with this idea, which you would realize for yourself, it's a natural progression of things. They built bigger boats and bigger nets, and they decided, let's go deeper into the ocean. So they went deeper into the seas, and naturally they caught more fish. But when they came back and sold that fish, people said, look, it wasn't fresh. We want fresh fish. This wasn't fresh. Now they huddled again. They said, look, this didn't work. What do we do? Well, this was the age of technology. They put refrigeration units onto their boats, and off they went again. Brought fish. People bought it. And then customers came back and complained, this wasn't fresh either. This was like frozen fish, which had been thawed. If you have ever put Coke in the freezer and then try to drink it after defrosting it or whatever, you know what it tastes like. So they said, this fish ain't fresh. Don't fool us. We need fresh fish or we're not going to buy from you. And they got together again, what to do. And one of them said, look, hey, in aquariums, the fish are always fresh. Brilliant idea. They bought these giant tanks they could put on their boats, and they filled it with fish. Now, fish were initially flapping, and then they gave up. They stopped doing anything in the tank. It's not like we can get out. Somehow they figured out that we would soon be food. They gave up, and when people ate that fish, they said, didn't feel fresh one bit. तो फिर फिशरमैन का अपनी जान दे दे क्या आप सब कुछ तो करके देख लिया. And then one person came up with this unbelievable idea. And all the fishermen said, worth a try. So what they did, they took the fish, they took out the boats to the sea. And as they caught the fish, in the tank, they also dropped a small shark. Now all the fish are constantly moving and warm and out and about in that tank, because they don't want to be eaten alive. So naturally, by the time they would get back, the shark would have eaten some percentage of the fish, like 2 to 3%. But the fish remained absolutely fresh. Poor thing. Only to be eaten again, if not by a shark, by lousy teeth stained. Yet, the point is, the fish remained fresh. So until there's an adversity in the form of a shark in your life, you will give up even flapping. You'll just give up on life. And then each day is going to be a long day. You are not living then, you are just getting by. You are just dragging yourself from one day to the next. If your life, best is if your life is of some use to others. But if that's not the case, at least be of use to yourself. At least live for yourself. Check your mattress and your couch. They must be screaming for a respite. Maybe really pay attention to what is happening in your room. If you see there are some curves and lines formed in your seats, that means you are sitting for too long. Do something with your life. If you have everything in life and yet you are sad all the time, this is the natural outcome of having everything in your life. You are sad because you're not really doing anything worthwhile. When everything is blessed with somebody, when somebody is blessed with everything, when you have everything, there's only one thing left: sadness. I don't think it takes a genius to figure that out. If you have got everything, if you've got everything, only sadness is left. And if you have everything to eat, only diseases are left. So they're also coming, and sadness is also coming, and depression, and anxiety, and panic, and ego, and anger, and frustration, and a sense of entitlement. They're all just waiting to barge in. All you have to do is walk out of the other door and do something with your time. Because how blessed you are, how lucky you are that you actually have the time to do something. That your brain functions, that your body functions, you can actually get out and do it. What a blessing it is when your body is fit and you can actually do something, when your brain is fit and you can actually do something. You only realize it, I mean, God forbid it should ever happen to anybody. But we only realize it when we lose it. When that is taken away from us, only then we realize the value of what we had, of good health or good time or a fertile brain. Only when it starts to get affected do we realize what a blessing it always was. So I wish you happiness and love and care and some purpose in your life. Don't be sad and just take up anything, something worthwhile. The rest will follow course.